Welcome to Sex, Money, and Real Estate Podcast, the show for real estate couples about how to close more deals in the bedroom. My name is Nancy Jameson.
And I'm Bill Jameson.
And each week we deep dive into juicy, intentional, sexy conversations, sharing with you what it takes to create balance in your intimate relationships and your real estate business. Thank you so much for being here. Shall we begin? Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
How are you being today, my sweetheart?
I am amazing. I'm trying to think of what's going on. It's raining and I'm a little chilly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also chilly because we're, fasting today.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that'll become an episode at one point.
For sure.
Awesome. So before we get started, I'd like to do a little housekeeping show note, if that's all right with you.
Yes, please.
So, hey, everybody. We just wanted to ask for you to subscribe to the podcast and share it with one realtor that you know that needs to hear this. And really, feedback. We want to hear your feedback. We love your feedback. We treasure your feedback. We appreciate your feedback and all its honesty. And so give us some listener love for sure. And if you'd like to connect with us, DM us on Instagram, please, at sex.money.realestate, or email us at connect@jamesonandcompany.com. And that's all spelled out, jamesonandcompany.com. Thank you so much. Okay, back to you, Lovey.
All right. Well, we like to start off every episode with what we call magic.
Well, what's magic?
Magic, we define magic as our ability to influence ourselves, others, or life in an empowering way.
Mm-hmm.
So, if given those parameters, my love, what kind of magic has come up for you today or, recently?
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm just going to go off today.
Today?
So,
Cool.
yes, so far, I personally have experienced 18 hugs today, so far today.
18.
Uh-huh. And what that looks like is, let's see. So, this morning, so hugs from my mentor, my personal trainer, some other fellow coaches, friends, all of our coaching clients. Hello and goodbye. My coaching clients. I don't know about yours because we haven't talked about that yet. The boys, of course, you and I have shared, given, and received hugs, and coworkers, and it's just so magical. I especially enjoy when I'm walking down the hall at the office, and they're like, "Hey, let me get my hug for today."
Yeah, it is definitely. We have definitely built a culture on hugging around the office for sure. That's beautiful. That is awesome.
Yes. How about you?
You know what? I can vegan back.
Okay.
Piggyback off of that. So I'm gonna say probably 12 or 13 hugs today.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with 13.
Okay.
My coaching clients and I exchanged a couple of hugs here and there, and with the kids, of course, and with you. And really, some magic was that I interviewed a lady today who is looking to become an agent. And so I was talking to her about some things. And, when I met her down at the local coffee shop, I gave her a hug. And, and that I just opened up the whole conversation, which was totally beautiful. But even more beautiful was the fact that after we got done with our very open and transparent conversation, that she's like, "I am so inspired right now, and I want to give you a hug." And she literally came across the table to give me a hug and thank me for the time that we spent together today.
That's great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's fantastic. Beautiful magic.
Yeah. So, given all that magic, what are we talking about today, Nance?
Well, the question is, how do we connect in a disconnected world?
Oh,
right.
Oh, yeah.
And so the simple answer for that is that we practice the art of hugging.
Yeah. I mean, we really hug everyone. We hug each other, our kids, our friends, our family, our clients, our coworkers, new people that we meet.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
regardless of where it is.
Yeah.
They definitely know that we are huggers for sure.
They do. It's like we're known for it.
Yep.
And the uncomfortable ones are the first ones to always let others know, that we're huggers as well, which is funny. I guess because it's confronting, right?
Yes, it is definitely very confronting.
Mm.
And, I think one of the reasons why is that it's confronting for folks is that we're very intentional about our hugs. So we hug on the heart side. Like that is our preference, is to hug on the heart side. And most people come in on the left side of the body. And so they'll do that and we'll hug, and obviously we'll exchange that hug once they realize that we're coming in for the hug. And it's like, come here, we'll give you a hug. And then we'll say, well, let me give your heart a hug. Or, are you open to me giving your heart a hug? And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Yes, of course. And then we switch sides and go in on the right side.
Yeah.
And it's a total win-win because then we both get to give and receive 2 hugs.
Right. Exactly. And, again, just, acknowledging, the heart to heart hug for people is, it's refreshing. It's unexpected. And yet when they hear it and experience it, it just seems, to me, my experience is that it seems so obvious to them.
Yes. Yeah. But I will say, if we think about for a moment the types of hugs that we receive, like when we go in for the hug, it's we generally know either the communication level of that person and for sure the intimacy level in which they experience themselves or experience others by the way that they're communicating with their style
I know where
of
you're going
hug.
with this. Yeah.
So, I mean,
so what you're saying is like when they kind of turn sideways and kind of give you the shoulder hug, where you're kind of hugging, but you're not. It's more
you're like side by side.
You're side by side,
or like you'll connect at the hip. Like you'll hug,
yeah.
you'll like go into them side and it'll be like that arm or that shoulder tap, but you'll actually connect like hip to hip. It's hilarious.
Yeah, or just the total. I mean, I don't want to call it diss, but the stiff arm hug where they're like, just don't even come near me. Right?
It's like no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then we get into the stuff that of course. We're kind of poking fun at this a little bit, and yet it's again, I just feel like it's very revealing. And so when somebody comes in and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you are a hugger. I love it," and then they'll full embrace us with a hug, and they'll do the kiss on each cheek, or they'll do a full embrace with a kiss, on the lips, or a full embrace. I love this one. Is the full embrace like when you're hugging and you'll have your hand on the small of their back, and then you kind of like just hug them. You just
absolutely.
hug them, and that's engaging the chakras, the sacral hug. The sacral chakra hug.
There you go.
And then of course, we utilize hugging when we fully embrace each other, and we're aligning all of our chakras, and we're moving. Moving that energy around, moving that sexual energy around. And it's just, it's really cool. So I definitely appreciate that one. But you said it. I mean, you definitely said it before. Hugging overall can be very confronting for folks. It's that intimate connection that they feel with themselves, or really even feeling safe with the person that is actually doing the hugging.
Right.
So,
I guess, the question is, is it 1 or 2 hugs a day, or is it 20 hugs a day? I mean, I know that there's a few numbers out there on that, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, Virginia Satir is a family therapist, and a few years ago, she did a research and study, and I just really clicked with this, and we've obviously since adopted this whole philosophy. I mean, we talked about it with our clients, and we talk about it in classroom setting, like when we're teaching, and the boys know it. And really, this is the deal. So the stats are: if you receive or give 4 hugs a day, you're surviving. If you give or receive 8 hugs a day, you're maintaining. And then truly the goal is to give or receive 12 hugs a day, because that's thriving. And at 12 hugs a day, your body actually begins to heal.
That's fascinating.
From that whole emotion called love.
Yeah. Yep. Nice. And then, there are definitely like, art forms, right? Associated with hugging,
Mm-hmm.
actions, relationships, thoughts around hugging.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So research shows that hugging, along with laughter, is very effective at healing sickness and disease.
Mm-hmm. Loneliness, depression, anxiety, stress.
Hmm.
And reason being is it boosts that love hormone called oxytocin. And then the other hormone that it releases is serotonin. So it's beautiful, all those brain chemicals going on. And then it reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone.
Huh. Interesting.
Yes.
Nice. Well, we know that hugging also, it boosts self-esteem.
Yes, this is one of my favorite things for sure.
Why is that?
Well, because, if we go back to when we were hugging the babies, like with the
Right.
boys when they were babies, or when kids are babies, or, in that family setting where there's young kids around. I mean, you're hugging them every day. You're cuddling with them in the bathtub, or
Yeah.
you're hugging them, at bedtime, or you're hugging them at the dinner table. I mean, my little guys were scrumptious and delicious, and now they're teenagers.
And they're still huggers, which is
Oh yeah, they're super
also
huggers.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
beautiful.
they openly hug us about anywhere, anytime,
Mhm.
and I love how they hug. They don't necessarily hug on their friends too much at this point, but there are still some hugs in there when they see certain friends,
Mhm.
and especially when they see our friends,
Mhm.
they're very open to hugging, to giving and receiving the hug. I mean, you can tell that they enjoy it and they love it, and it's they feel the healing in it too.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it is beautiful, and there's definitely a certain um amount of love and really honor also, because they'll, like, if they hear you or me come home from work, or if they come home from school, it's the first thing that they do is
Mm-hmm.
they hug us, and they put their stuff down and they're right there, anchoring that feeling. So it's just a really beautiful way for us to connect with each other, and boosting the self-esteem. It allows them to connect with themselves and provide them with this beautiful tool of self-love. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that, and I love that for us too.
Yeah, so right along with that is how hugs really teach us how to both give and receive,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, there's equal value in receiving, and receiving the hug is when you give it. For me, it's just, I'm worth receiving a hug.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worth it. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm worth the healing, and I'm worth being in that embrace and being present, and receiving what's out there that is being given to me. So I love that about the hugs for sure. I mean, it definitely tells us how love flows both ways. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then the other thing is that I equate hugs to being kind of like a little mini meditation.
Mm.
I mean, you can be, especially in our business with real estate, and in a lot of businesses, you're multitasking. Your brain can be in a million different places at one time, and that yet you get into that hug, and if you're intentional about that hug, you're being uber present in that
Mm-hmm.
moment with yourself and the one that you're with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it encourages to go with the flow and the energy of life.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets you, like I was saying, it gets you out of that circular thinking pattern and gets you back to your heart. And that's one thing I love. And I think that's what our clients and our friends and our
Mm-hmm.
coworkers all love is, just that not only the exchange, but the opportunity to be present for a moment with something other than, wherever they were at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
It gets you being out of being maybe self-absorbed or self-centered and into a different kind of center.
Yes, yes. And I'm really glad that you brought that up as it relates to, real estate also, just because the communication. So when you're in the position of hugging someone, or you're in like that moment, like, whether you're showing houses or going on a listing appointment, or even with your agents or anything like that, it opens up that pathway for clear communication, and it allows everybody to kind of relax and take a breath and go, oh, wow, this is a different kind of conversation.
Right.
So what that allows then is synergy. because
Yes.
you have this energy exchange between the people hugging, and it's just this huge emotional deposit into the relationship that you wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
normally necessarily get from not having the hug. I mean, it really is. It's just this really intimate, energetic exchange. And so so you have synergy, and then here comes understanding.
Right.
I mean, you pair that with seek to understand, and you just have this amazing conversation where, as if synergy, then it's more than the sum of its parts. It's like 1 + 1 = 16
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
16,000. So it's a total win-win. The person receiving the hug is receiving healing. The person giving the hug is receiving healing. And then there's the communication aspect of it. There's the emotional deposit, and it's just overall a really beautiful.
Yeah, and then the cherry on the sundae, so to speak, on that is, it's being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
It's being transparent with who you are, how you communicate, how you do things.
Fully expressed.
Fully expressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's it lends to credibility and honesty. And when you are out showing houses or talking about listings and things
Mm-hmm.
like that with people that you don't necessarily have that intimate relationship with,
Mm-hmm.
it shows where you are with yourself and where you are going to be with them as well, whether they're
Mm-hmm.
into it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is definitely a very it's an important part of our coaching sessions too.
Mm-hmm.
Is I start every coaching session off with a hug.
Yeah.
And for my folks that are on the phone, I'm literally giving them a virtual hug. Like I will
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, I'm virtually hugging you right now.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's really important, and it just allows that connection point, and it's just a whole nother level of a conversation. It's a deeper, intimate level of conversation. It's a no BS kind of conversation. Like, we're not going to talk about the weather here. Like, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty and like have a needle moving conversation and like move some stuff around.
Right.
And yes, all of that happens because of the hug.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nothing moves the needle faster.
No,
For sure.
No, not at all.
Awesome.
Great.
So, our recommendation to you is to go out and get those hugs.
Yeah, set a goal.
Yeah, I love that. Set a goal. How many hugs are you going to receive and give a day?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can attract the hugs the same way as you give them. You don't have to be out there, giving them all. You can also play for receiving them as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could hug yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You could hug your pet.
Oh.
I don't know how it would work with a fish, but I guess you could hug the fish tank. But I mean, dogs, cats, like all of those beautiful animals, they feel it too. They're vibrating at a whole nother higher love consciousness, which is a vibration of 500. So,
Nice. Beautiful. So get those hugs, receive those hugs, and let us know what your comments are, about all this. Cause, it's definitely, it's a different idea for some people, and I'd be interested to know what your feedback is.
I'd love to see a picture or a video. Like if they posted pictures or videos on their Instagram and like hashtags us.
That'd be cool.
Or something. They could do hashtag, let's see, SMRE hug.
Sex, money, real estate.
Hug.
Okay.
Or we are
hug.
huggers.
Yeah. Or we are huggers. That's fantastic.
I think that would be so beautiful just to pass that around.
All right. Well, let's see if we can, light that torch a little bit. That's cool.
Start a trend.
Yes.
We are trendsetters.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I think that's it for today's episode, baby.
Beautiful. Yeah. Straight to the point.
Yeah. Well, it's probably a shorter episode, and I love it because still, I think that was just jam-packed with a lot of information, for sure.
Jam-packed.
Oh!
The jam method, which is definitely, it's part of a joyous, abundant, and mature relationship, is to be very just mature with the concept of hugging.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for listening, everyone.
Yes.
Please join us again next week. And again, if you want to reach out and connect with us on Instagram, it's at sex.money.realestate. And you can always email us directly at connect@jamesonandcompany.com.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye for now.
Bye. Wow, what a show. Thank you so much for listening. If you're inspired, we ask that you share the podcast with one person and subscribe and follow our show. I'm Nancy Jameson.
And I'm Bill Jameson.
And remember, it's a great life.
Woo!
Quick note about the Sex, Money, and Real Estate podcast. We are not doctors or licensed therapists. We are a joyous, abundant, and mature couple passionately sharing our story of growth around sex, money, and real estate. Our thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are our own, so please consult your doctor, healthcare provider, or your broker regarding any questions or issues you have related to your physical or mental health or specific state laws regarding your real estate business.